Well, 2 days ago, today is Wednesday. 2 days ago, I brought some food home from the food pantry, including some turkey drumsticks. And I believe that the drumsticks will be thawed now. Today is Wednesday, and I brought the food home on Monday. So they've been in the refrigerator. And I'm just wanting to show how easy it is to cook turkey. I mean, yes, you can add seasonings to make it a little bit better. Maybe even substantially better, but if adding the seasonings is more complicated, sometimes it can get more complicated than it's worth. The turkey, in my experience, is going to turn out beautiful, even if it's not. You know what? I'm gonna start preheating the oven. All right. My experience is turkey is really flavorful, even if you don't add spices. Adding spices will enhance the flavor, but for me it's more of a chore than it's worth. So I'm just going to cook the turkey, and if you've never cooked fresh turkey or fresh chicken or anything like that, it can seem intimidating. I know it was to me when I first tried it. In fact, I think in my first apartment, going back about 20 years ago, I was so frustrated with how complicated people were trying to make it to cook chicken, and all I did was I took the chicken, I put it in tin foil, set it in the oven at about 300 degrees for I think about 2 hours. Frequently I would fall asleep during that time and end up with burnt chicken. But what I'm trying to say here is it can be so simple as just putting the chicken parts onto a roaster, and you really should elevate. This is a roaster. This is the roaster's lid, and this is something to elevate the chicken off of the bottom of the roaster. So, but in this case I'm cooking turkey. So it's really going to be that simple. What I'm going to do, I'm not sure how I'm going to want to make videos in the future.
Message from Ron Brown, D845.
Okay.
New messages received
I
from
have another
Ron Brown.
delivery.
Messages D845.
So I'm going to be making this turkey, and then let's see. So I'm going to let him know that I will be there to pick up my next delivery. We'll get this turkey going before I go out on that delivery. So I'm going to say Roger, delivery at 8:45. That way he knows that I got the message, and he can expect that about 8:40, maybe even 8:35, I'll get there. Right now it's 8:27, so that only gives me about 8 minutes. It takes 2 minutes to get there. It gives me 6 minutes to get the turkey going. Let's make sure that he got that message, or that it at least made it through my network. Okay, it made it through my network. So, all right. Clearing off the space close to the sink, where I can place the roaster. Gonna grab the turkey. Now, of the two, this was the better looking turkey. I'm going to do this by the sink because the juices of the turkey can be very problematic. They can harbor germs, so I want to do it close to the sink where it's easier to clean up. And I'm just going to run them under cool water. That I take over to warm water. Then I'm simply going to place it on that little grill that elevates the drumstick. Take it back to cool water. And I'm rubbing the turkey under the running cool water. Going to pop it over the warm water. And again, I'm rubbing the turkey under the warm water. I'm going to wash my hands with soap. And at this point in time, we're simply waiting for the oven to finish preheating. I want to see how much of the sink. Are you able to see a lot of the sink or not? Yeah, I think you probably caught most of what I did there. That's it. It can be as simple as that. I've already moved the what do you call them? The shelves to the lower level. You can see that the shelves are way down here so that it can accommodate the roaster with the lid on the roaster. That's not going to preheat. Angus. All right. So I've got the turkey. I've got the turkey on that little elevator, on that little grill. When I put this into the oven, I'm going to put this cover on in this manner as opposed to the normal manner like that. The reason I'm doing this is because I want the turkey skin to brown and not just stay clammy and super moist. So when I start cooking, I'm going to start cooking with it like this. If I left it like that, the juices can spatter out and make more of a mess for me to clean up in the oven. If I cover it like this will catch the majority of the juices, the majority of the grease that's trying to spatter out, but it'll still let the hot air actually singe the, crisp up the skin of the turkey. So I found this to be a good combination. And I have already lowered, well, I never raised them back up again from the last time I cooked like this. So the shelves were already low enough to accommodate this elevated cover on top of the roaster. But it's really that simple. It's just a matter of rinsing the turkey. I should say that that turkey kind of stank a little bit, just a little bit. Not horrible, not even near horrible. It has the slightest smell of what do I want to say? If it had smelled worse than it does, the oven's currently preheated to 395. I won't go hotter than 395 because hotter than 395 tends to be what sets off the smoke detector. So that's where I'm going to leave it, is 395. I'll go ahead and pop it into the oven. And I can go on my delivery, but before I go, of the two packages, I've got my other frozen package right here. Of the two packages, that one looked the best. This one looked a little bit darker to me than the other one did. This one, actually, this one doesn't look that bad right now. As I was rinsing that off, it had like a slight funky smell to it, but it was very, very faint. And I know most people don't rinse their meats off before they start cooking them. And I'm going to re-emphasize, for a year now, I've been getting food from the food pantry. Not exclusively, I do go shopping also, but at least once a month I've gotten food from the food pantry and cooked that food. And for a year now, I have not lost one day's work to illness. So the techniques that I use are tried and true. They do work. At least they work for me. You know, if somebody smokes, their sense of smell is going to be not so good probably. You know, or I feel kind of blessed that I can tell when something smells a little bit funky and avoid it. This has just the slightest smell of funk on it, and I'm still going to cook it. And I can pretty much guarantee it's not going to make me sick. Part of the reason why it's not going to make me sick is because I rinsed it in the cold water while kind of massaging as much of the funk off as I could, and then I rinsed it in warm water, again massaging as much of the funk off as I can before I begin cooking it. But if it really smelled bad, there's no way I would even try cooking it. It would go straight into the garbage. It didn't smell that bad. It just had like the beginnings of an indication that, yeah, this really isn't super fresh food. Then again, we're kind of spoiled in that we don't have to go out hunting our food, and we have refrigeration, and we can refrigerate our food immediately. So I'm sure our ancestors, their livers were able to handle food that smells much worse than this. But I don't think it would be good practice for us to subject ourselves to food that does smell much worse than this. That's what I'm trying to say, is there's kind of a blend and a judgment call as to whether or not you're going to use that food. I would feel guilty throwing that food out, but I have thrown other food out that I did not feel guilty about throwing out. That's what you have to make that judgment call on your own, and hopefully you've got a good nose that can help you do that. All right. I'm going to turn off the camera now because I've only got 7 minutes to get 2 minutes away from here, and that only puts me 5 minutes early, and I prefer to be 10 minutes early wherever I go. So, bye for now.